Coming up, we'll go gaga over a skinny skirt.
Oh my God.
We've got the perfect bag for BYOB.
We make a trendy summer sandal straight out of ancient Rome.
Russell Crowe in Gladiator. Now that's a gladiator.
But first, we wear a pair of powerful pants like a boss.
If you wear it and you let the pants wear you, that doesn't work. You have to wear the pants.
This is Style Factory.
All-white style has been controversial, but done right,
Hot.
it's white hot year-round.
Ooh, hot, hot.
Once upon a time, white was for summer only. Banished to your closets after Labor Day.
I mean, that was an old established rule that came out of some archaic philosophy about only the rich getting to wear it once they've summered.
But then, along came Coco Chanel. The iconic Parisian designer notoriously wore white year-round and went so far as to make white trousers for herself and her rich and influential friends.
A wide-legged pant, I think about it, and what I think is, say, Coco Chanel on the beach. It really is sort of that easy, breezy, summertime look.
So if it was good enough for her, it's definitely good enough for us.
And it was good enough for Katharine Hepburn, too, who kept trousers for women a style staple in the 40s.
1970s rolls around, and women are wearing pants like never before. They're going to the office, and the suit have come of age.
Which is how we arrive at the white Yoko pant by Montreal, Quebec fashion house Untitled. As you may have guessed, the pants were inspired by a powerhouse of pop culture.
And I guess there was a Yoko song playing in the studio that day. And it just dawned on us that it should be called the Yoko pant.
José Manuel Saint-Jacques and his partner Simon Bélanger are the founders of Untitled and the creative masterminds behind their leggy creation.
So the Yoko pant is a wide-legged pant, trouser, high-waisted with oversized men's pockets and men pleat in the front.
This season's on-trend long white trouser takes its cue from ancient Egypt and starts in design partner Chantal Malboeuf's design development studio, where the fabric is tested on a Judy until the look is achieved.
Since we're going to Egypt this season, I'm thinking all of this detailing and this
Yeah, the gold has to go. The most important thing is for the pant to really hit the floor. Then we leave it longer, just to give still a detail, but lighter.
Working together like this comes naturally for these guys. Partners at home and in business.
Untitled is our life, so it's not
work.
It's not work.
It is work, but in our case, it's a recipe for success, so
Yeah.
we don't want to change the recipe.
Once Simon and José finalize the design, the studio's pattern maker Mathieu creates digital templates for each component of the Yoko pant. Each pair is made of essentially two major sections. First, the legs, both of which are made from two leg panels, a front and a back. Second, the waistband, which sits on top, holding everything together in their exquisite shape.
Why are wide-legged pants on runways from Paris to Milan to London? It's because this is a silhouette that works with women of all shapes and sizes.
The Yoko pants specs are transferred to this machine, which prints the patterns onto a piece of paper called a marker. The silky, ever so slightly sheer fabric is rayon, with a smooth nylon backing.
Rayon is very soft and also shiny fabric, so it works as a great alternative to materials such as silk or crepe.
Fabric cutter Melissa lays the paper marker on top of the rayon and cuts the pieces out by hand with scissors. Those pant pieces are then sent to a sewing machine called the serger.
The serger does the finishing of the fabric so it doesn't fray.
It's kind of like a weave that's created on the edge of the fabric to hold
close
the fibers in.
With the fabric successfully sealed, the leg's inseam is stitched, creating the long, trouser-like shape.
So the idea of the leg is for it to look like an Egyptian fabric, kind of like rough looking, with all the pleats that are woven into the fabric.
On the back, the invisible zipper is added before the two legs are joined at the crotch. And holding everything together is that powerful high waistband that perches right on top.
A few seasons ago, we found this webbing, which is literally like karate belts. And it slowly became a signature of ours to do waistbands, and it gives you a waistband without having to use material to do it.
The only thing left is for the guys to go back to Chantel's studio with the finished pants. The final quality inspection is all to make sure the pants are ready to unlock and project the power inside every woman.
I like to say we dress as psychological women, not a physiological woman. It's a state of mind that I think women are now.
I think white trousers are great. You have to own it though. If you wear it and you let the pants wear you, that doesn't work. You have to wear the pants.
Everyone knows there's only one summer shoe that's guaranteed to unleash your inner goddess.
I love Gladiator sandals. Love them. And I love them in like colors, like good quality leather.
I feel like they never go out of style. Even when they do go out of style, they're still not out of style. They'll never die. It's a Gladiator.
It's one of those effortless forms of footwear. You just slip it on and strap it on, and really, it can be worn with anything.
This neoclassical wear-anywhere sandal is marked by its flat sole and leather lace-ups. And it's been in fashion for as long as its name suggests.
The Gladiator sandal, as we wear it in the 21st century, is clearly named after Roman gladiators.
Russell Crowe in Gladiator. Now that's a gladiator.
And 2,000 years later, the strappy lace-ups are the go-to shoe for all the most fearless girls to boldly show a little blank space on their ankles.
I just recently saw Taylor Swift, but it's not sandals. She's wearing a platform version of a gladiator. It's very modern.
But not so easy to wear. The sandals offer more comfort, flexibility, durability, and support. Features at the forefront of these gladiator sandals by the legendary shoemakers Chic.
Chic is one of those iconic brands that when you think of Saint-Tropez, you think of Chic.
Saint-Tropez est le lieu de la mode. C'est là où se déclenchent les modes.
Bernard Keklikian is the proud owner of this shoe company. Started by his father in 1933 and worshipped by leggy ladies ever since. And one of their most popular styles is the Janus, a sturdy leather sandal with matching laces.
Elle est composée de 3 pièces, 2 de chaque côté, une partie à l'arrière, avec une tirette, et composée de lacets. Donc c'est une sandale qui est et sandale et chaussure parce qu'elle maintient terriblement bien le pied.
The Janus was actually created just as hemlines were rising and skin was in.
Here we are, the original template. This is a template of 1969.
Lucille is the company's on-site historian. Her job is to preserve all of Chic's original sketches.
Obviously now, we can't work with this one. It's too fragile, it's too hard.
Instead, new models are designed alongside the original sketches, with a foot-shaped piece of paper and leather samples as a guide. At Chic, they stay as close to the original design as possible. It's with their extensive leather selection that they get to play.
Nous proposons une gamme d'à peu près 250 à 300 matières et couleurs pour chacune des sandales.
Each pair takes 1 hour and up to 30 people to make. And starts with the sole. Ellie selects the leather from their vast collection and brings it out to the factory floor. Here, a large stamping machine is used to create the outsole, which is the leather that makes contact with the pavement, and the insole, which is the leather that makes contact with your foot. The two soles are stitched together with Chic's signature thread. This natural linen is the same one they've been using since 1952. Holes are punched to eventually fit the sandal's upper with the utmost accuracy.
1 millimètre de différence et vous serez très mal chaussé et il risque d'y avoir un inconfort si la lanière n'est pas positionnée au bon endroit.
I will be in pain, but as long as they look fabulous, that's all that matters to me.
Luckily, at Jacques, comfort is key. So Morgan applies a manageable 1 centimeter heel from an all-natural material that's slip-resistant and soundproof. As for the upper, the leather is laid out, cut into 3 pieces, and heated under a flame to eliminate any imperfections. All these individual pieces need to come together. So the sandal parts are bundled and delivered to Gregory, who assembles every sandal by hand, leaving just one last question: how to tie summer's hottest shoe.
Make sure you know which one suits your height, because I can't stand to see, like, you know, let's say petite girls wearing Gladiator sandals all the way up to here, and it's like, okay, you look even more petite.
So you can tie your Gladiators only, just around your ankle, or you can tie them really tight up your calf. But you have to do it tight enough so they X perfectly up your leg. I really like that look.
You could dress it up, you could dress it down. You could play around with it, you could have fun with it. I love it.
There are few styles more polished than a pencil skirt.
The pencil skirt is something every girl should own. It's always feminine and conservative.
Pencil skirts, to me, are almost like an alternative to trousers. They're quite figure-hugging, but you could wear it with flats. I think that's probably the most comfortable way to wear it.
The pencil skirt is known as a stalwart staple of office wear. But find the right one, and it can take you way beyond the boardroom.
If you're gonna wear it outside of the office, you wanna ensure that you're gonna pair it with something a little bit offbeat. So whether that's funky jewelry or a statement shirt, something that just takes it way outside the workplace.
What I love about the skirt is you can take it from work to dinner or even to a formal occasion, and it's something that will make you feel confident from morning to night.
Neil Dombrowski is the owner of Piccadilly Fashions, a Canadian design house started by his father 40 years ago. Today, Neil is continuing the family tradition, producing his line out of the very same 70,000 square foot facility in Toronto, Canada.
Piccadilly's main mission is to offer affordable, comfortable, fashionable clothing to the everyday woman.
And it seems to be working. Piccadilly recently showcased their collection during Toronto Fashion Week.
Toronto Fashion Week gave us the ability to really reach out to all our customers and show that there are high fashion shows that can be really wearable.
All thanks to the help of couture designer Francesca Berets. She collaborated with Piccadilly's in-house team to create a chevron pencil skirt with slimming leather side panels.
Francesca was really well known for her linens and her really feminine appeal. She made it comfortable and a staple skirt that anybody could wear at any time in any season.
A pencil skirt typically hugs tightly to the body, so finding the right fabric that complements a woman's curves is a critical task, which is why they're using a modern take on a timeless pattern called chevron.
It has a really nice stretch to it. I'm not even sure if we have to line the garments because it just feels so good. And it's nice and warm for the winter as well.
Classic chevron is a simple nested zigzag pattern, but Piccadilly has chosen a funky asymmetrical take on chevron, which runs vertically down the skirt, accentuating a woman's curves. Rolls of the cotton lycra fabric are laid out onto a table and cut into large rectangular pieces. The lycra gives the fabric plenty of stretch, so Hassan and his trusty ruler ride along the table, giving the fabric a smack to help it relax.
As soon as the goods are cut, it might come back and it changes the fit of the garment, so they want to make it as relaxed as possible.
Then, the relaxed fabric is covered with a lightweight paper called a marker and covered with a heavy-duty sheet of plastic. It's all suctioned and sealed into place. A digital pattern with all of the skirt's pieces is loaded into the automated cutter, acting as a map for the machine to follow.
The automatic cutter follows the patterns that are sent from the design room and follows the cutting exactly with no mistakes.
The skirt's pieces are bundled to prepare them for the sewing line. First, Sylvia works on attaching all of the skirt's panels with a serger sewing machine. Inserting these leather panels creates a contrast with the monochromatic chevron, giving the skirt its flattering on everyone effect without compromising the timeless slim fit. A silhouette that has quite a history of its own.
So the Wright brothers actually had a hand in the pencil skirt. They invited a female passenger aboard one of their planes, and the threat of the propeller could have sent her skirt flying.
So she tied her skirt down with rope, and creating really one of the earliest forms of pencil skirts, as we would term them today.
But no one knew a pencil skirt's power until Marilyn Monroe filled one out. In the 1959 comedy, Some Like It Hot.
She walks by two guys and they're just like, oh my God, like losing it over her famous bum in a pencil skirt.
For a thoroughly modern twist, elastic is sewn into the black waistband, providing the skirt with a slip-on ease.
No more of the zippers and the buttons and the tightness. Everybody wants comfort.
When it comes to the waistband, sure. Shoes are a different story.
When you're wearing a pencil skirt, the higher the heel, the better, because it accentuates your calves and just makes you stand up straighter.
So I would go with like a stiletto or like a small strappy sandal.
As the skirt is hemmed, the Piccadilly label is attached, and the skirt is turned right side in. Consider this pencil skirt a comfortable power suit for the ages, with a side of va-va-voom.
When you have those skirts, it just really accentuates them, so it's tough to go wrong with a pencil skirt.
It's comfortable, it's fashionable, and it's an everyday piece.
When it comes to on-trend bags that carry all your daily essentials, and then some, there's only one that's up for the task.
I love bucket bags.
Now, the bucket bag is a very practical bag. You can carry a lot around in it, and it can be a lot of fun if you have one in a very bright color.
And they've been popular since the bag's heyday in the 1980s.
1980s bucket bags by Chanel and Moschino with the big glittery gold logos on the front of them, and the bag is a mainstay today.
But the bucket bag has actually been around for over a century, and originally had a very specific purpose.
One of the earliest modern bucket bags was created by Louis Vuitton. This was called the Noe bag, and it was used for carrying around bottles of champagne.
Bucket bags are great for carrying champagne in.
Anything that gets bubbles from A to B is fine by us. And one father and son bag company agrees. They've been providing this crucial service to New Yorkers for decades.
Our bags are unique because they're still made here in New York City. It's made by a family business. My father's been doing this for over 30 years. Some of our employees started when my father opened his factory.
Alex DeBog runs Pietro NYC with his father, Pierre, right in the heart of NYC's famous garment district. And one of the first items Pierre ever made here was his famous leather bucket bag.
Since 76, I started learning the handbags. In 82, I opened my own shop. I used to buy my leather in the morning. I came to the shop, I cut the leather, I make the bag, I deliver for the customer.
Now, as it was then, Italian cowhide leather is the starting point. And today, the color is a deep Bordeaux.
All our leather comes from Italy. We work with the tanneries, select the finest leathers. We choose the colors that we know are appropriate for the season. And that Bordeaux color, it's just so transitional. You could dress it up with a pair of light denim jeans, a white t-shirt, and that bag, and you still have that summer-esque summer look.
The tan hides are grabbed from storage by Luis, who die cuts the 5 main panels, the strap pieces, and the bag's red suede interior panels.
And it just adds a nice little touch to it, a nice pop. It's not just a black, empty hole.
The leather and suede are bonded by this fusing machine, which uses heat and rollers to press them together. Today, Alex is running it. Before the bag is sewn into shape, Carlos hand presses a gold leaf sheet with the iconic Pietro logo into the front panel. Now, all the bag's parts are ready to get stitched together. Emile sews the 4 body panels together using a front stitch until they form a tube. At this point, the company's grandmaster, Pierre, meticulously places the tube onto this bucket bag mold. giving you an early sense of the bag's depth.
You can carry so much. I mean, so much stuff in there. It's almost ridiculous. Even flowers. Never really full of bucket bag. Or dogs. Our dog fits into a bucket bag. Yep.
My dad is not the typical owner of a company. He's working with the employees side by side, assembling bags, making bags.
Pierre expertly folds the bag's edges down, adds a little cement, then tamps the bottom section firmly into place.
The way that this bag is created is that there's no interfacing, no lining, very clean cut.
The bottom is carefully stitched in place before the empty bag heads back to Alex. He threads the leather drawstring through the drawstring holes, completing the bag's signature look.
The practical benefits of the bucket bag is that there's no zippers, there's no snaps. All you gotta do is just pull the drawstring. You have a nice wide open mouth where you could easily get into and get out of quickly.
Of course, once the bag's yours, you can customize it however you want.
And lately I've been taking a bandana and kind of just wrapping the handles.
And it's those kinds of personal touches that pair the hardy, colorful bucket bag with any outfit.
It can really pick up a look. And I would wear it with either all white or all black.
If you're going from day to night, you can put like your heels in there. You can do a little outfit change. I guess you can wear it with anything.
Coming up,
You've dressed everybody from Beyonce to Madonna.
we make a pair of lavish earrings ready for the biggest stars.
We've got a classic winter coat with brand new winter-busting technology.
We meet a sexy little black dress, complete with secret shapewear.
I like to call it our secret, our confidence hug.
But first, we're pumped up with a pair of shoes fit for a princess.
We do very well on Kate's. Kate Blanchett, Kate Middleton, Kate Moss.
This is Style Factory. Forget diamonds. We all know that shoes are a woman's best friend.
You see, as soon as it says shoes, I lose it. That's when all hell breaks loose.
I own a lot of pair of shoes, to be honest. I cannot control it.
And as far as footwear goes, there's one style you can always rely on.
So when I think of a stiletto pump, I think of strong, powerful, sexy, badass business.
Every girl should have pointy heels. You can wear them with jeans, you can wear them with a dress, you can dress it up, you can dress it down.
Today, nobody understands a stiletto's appeal more than esteemed shoe designer Rupert Sanderson.
The one shoe that every woman can't live without would be a classic pump.
Rupert has become one of the world's leading footwear designers, creating classic pieces with all the right angles, like this salmon-colored suede pump called the Alba, and he has the client list to prove it.
We do very well on Kate's. Kate Blanchett, Kate Middleton, Kate Moss.
Just the fact that Kate Middleton wears Rupert Sanderson, I'm telling you, her fashion points for me went up quite a bit.
So Rupert Sanderson is a designer who came of age in London at the turn of the millennium, and his passion was shoes.
So much so that he worked for some of Italy's best shoemakers, then bought this 15,000 square foot factory in Tradozio, Italy.
And devoted his heart and soul into making really fine, fashionable women's shoes.
I'm reliant on a whole raft of different specialists that make buckles, bows, types of fabric, all the little technical processes that are involved in making shoes, all come together to make Italy the best place to make shoes like mine.
Which brings us to the Alba, a perennially chic salmon pump with a classic shape that allows it to be styled in a myriad of ways.
It's pared down to the basic elements of a shoe, which is line, silhouette, and proportion.
To create that silhouette, Rupert works with Mauro, an artisan who's able to actualize his design into a three-dimensional template on this foot-shaped mold called a last.
I really like to make based a little bit on this, but a simplified version, a really sweet décolleté court shoe, so we use the highest heel.
The heel on this shoe is a whopping 4 inches high, and Rupert weighs everything from the materials to the shape, creating the perfect balance.
I will make the first heel out of a soft material so I can get the shape exactly how I want it. That's then made into something that can withstand the pressures that a shoe heel needs.
Mauro takes the pattern off the last to create a digital version. Meanwhile, the suede is inspected for imperfections.
Suede's a great material. It's got a great hand to it. It takes color really well. It doesn't reflect light, so you're not getting highlights and lowlights. You're just getting a block of color.
It has that texture to it that you don't always get from leather.
Using the digital pattern as a guide, the leather is cut into the outer part of the shoe called the upper and brought over to Juliana. She sprays the inside of the leather with a glue gun and attaches it to the lining. Then the back edges are sewn together, creating a loop.
Reinforcements are put into the back so that it holds its shape, and then it's effectively made ready for them to be shaped round the last.
Now that the upper's secured, that iconic pointy toe can be formed on a machine called a toe press. The suede leather is pulled tightly and tacked to the bottom of the last, allowing the pump to really take shape. At this point, the upper is pretty much done, but a stiletto is not complete without its namesake heel. Heels have been around since ancient Egyptian times, making memorable historic cameos over the years.
Legend has it Marie Antoinette strutted to the guillotine in 2-inch stilettos. It could be myth, but she was never underdressed.
To get the heel on the shoe, glue is applied to the heel area, and Claudio adheres it using a strong press.
Perché ci metto questa colla qui? Ci metto una vite e questa colla, ma questa colla terrebbe anche senza vite, è sicurissima.
Security isn't the stiletto's only concern. The placement of the heel is critical. Too far back, and the shoe runs the risk of being off balance. Too far forward creates a painful amount of pressure on the toes. Thankfully, Rupert has found the elbow's sweet spot, which enhances comfort while making a woman's leg look leaner and longer.
When the heel is too far away from the toe, it makes your feet look bigger, and it also makes your legs look unattractive.
And as we just learned, making this heel is an art form. So Rupert leaves his artist's signature in the form of a solid gold swipe.
Every shoe I make has got a benchmark. In carpentry term, when a carpenter has made a perfect right angle or junction, they will mark it with a pencil mark to say that it's completely finished. The gold swipe on the breast of the heel is meant to signify a finger of gold paint, evidence of the hand.
The heel tip is hammered in, revealing a finished pointy-toed pump that showcases Sanderson's famous curves.
They're fresh, they're new, they're hip, they're modern.
Less is more, because I like the idea of expressing as much as I can, using as little as possible.
It's strange, but not everybody agrees about the joys of winter.
I mean, I think the Canadian winter sucks. It does.
I just love the winter. I think it's awesome. I feel so great and refreshed in the winter. I just love it.
See? But for even the biggest winter haters, there's a time-honored solution to getting outdoors.
So the first Parka-style waterproof jacket was created by the Inuit people, and it was actually made from the intestines of whales and seals.
The parka is one of those things that's a permanent part of any city street. Men wear them, women wear them, and designers make them.
Yes, they do. So let's meet one. Joseph Tassoni's been making clothes since before he could read.
There's pictures that my mom has of me cutting up her drapes, cutting up all her clothes, and then creating mini collections, all my sisters.
Fast forward a few years, and Joseph's putting that early experience to good use as the head designer for La Parka. They've been making winter coats in Toronto, Ontario for 3 decades. Today, he's preparing their most popular women's coat, the Heritage Parka, for the upcoming winter collection.
The Heritage Parka was inspired from a Canadian design from the 60s when you had embroidery of Native Canadians out in the wilderness.
Taking its cue from the historic jackets, today's Heritage Parka is built around 3 major components. The waterproof outer shell is made from an 80% wool, 15% cashmere, and 5% polyamide blended fabric. A black inner lining made from quilted down keeps the body warm. And then there's a detachable hood, complete with the perfect faux fur trim to keep wind, sleet, and snow off your precious face. Like all La Parka jackets, the Heritage starts when Joseph finds the right fabric.
Fabrics speak to you. When you put on the Heritage Parka, you should feel a great sense of softness around your face and a great sense of warmth.
The design is then digitized into its component parts, beamed over to the factory floor, then printed onto a sheet of paper called a marker. The red wool cashmere fabric is rolled onto a cutting table and covered with the marker.
Wool is incredibly durable fiber that can withstand rain, wind, snow. It's been used for centuries. Cashmere, ultimate luxury. If you want that softness, if you want that feeling of absolute comfort against your skin, throwing a little bit of blend of that is always wonderful.
It's almost like wearing a cashmere bathrobe. It really cuts the wind and keeps you very warm.
The first section of the coat to get made is the red outer shell. The front and back panels are stitched together, the sleeves are attached, and the soft leather La Parka emblem is sewn onto the left sleeve. To create the perfectly snug fit for his coats, Joseph had to think outside the box, inventing an entirely new zipper technology using elastic neoprene fabric.
Our Parkas are different because of the invention that I created, which is La Parka Fit technology. The Parka will ease about 1 inch all around your body. If your body slightly changes, you will still be able to get it over your zone areas, as I like to call them.
That loose comfort is complemented by the warm inner lining. To make the lining, the down bags are sewn together and flown across to the down stuffing room to get stuffed.
Down is what keeps a bird warm. The feathers also help capture the down underneath it, locking in the heat. We hand stuff mainly because we pride ourselves in handcrafting everything that we do. We are able to maintain and watch quality control so that we know that every single piece that goes out, it is up to our standards.
Once the down is weighed and the bags are stuffed, they're sealed, then sectioned in a process called quilting. Quilting the down bags holds the shape of the parka and traps heat evenly around the body. Next, the lining is sewn inside the red outer shell, creating the final coat-like shape. Now, the parka is just about ready to fend off winter chills, but it still needs the detachable hood.
So as many options as I can give you in terms of the design, I will give it to you. You can't have a hood that isn't detachable.
And you can't have a parka without a chic faux fur trim, which is the humane counterpunch to a fashion feud even more divisive than Old Man Winter.
Fur is so polarizing in fashion. Animal rights activists have a point.
I think it's only ethical to offer faux fur. My West Coast customers absolutely love faux fur. Can't get enough of it.
And voila, the ultimate winter jacket. Made for Canadians, by Canadians, in Canada.
I love a good old Canadian winter. I love the fact that you can walk outside, put on a great parka, and you feel that crisp kind of air hit your face, and that is Canada.
The true north, strong, free, and cozy.
Let's talk about the most versatile item in your wardrobe, the delightful little black dress.
It's important for every single woman on the face of the planet to own at least one little black dress.
And nobody understands this more than Lisa Sun, owner of Project Gravitas, the New York City-based dress company with a disruptive mission.
I think what a lot of brands do is they think about a trend and they think about an idea that they want to push out to the customer. We flip it around and start with the customer and her unmet needs and then design for her. And that's why I think we're disrupting and innovating.
Lisa's proudly taking her cue from the original fashion disruptor who created the little black dress in 1926.
So the little black dress really is one of Coco Chanel's great inventions and a signature. And it really was an extension of her own wardrobe.
Coco Chanel transformed the way to wear a little black dress. Black went from being negative to only funerals, and then it turned out to be something super classic and chic.
I think the person who's got most playful with the little black dress was Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Thanks to Audrey, the little black dress has been the go-to piece for generations of it girls since. And Lisa draws her inspiration for the Edie dress from the most iconic it girl of them all.
The inspiration for this dress is Edie Sedgwick, who was an icon in the 60s. She was part of that Gloria Steinem era, the Andy Warhol era, and we actually put the zigzags in there because we thought it was a nod to mod in the 60s, but also it breaks rules in a lot of ways.
The rebellious Edie dress holds the classic little black dress shape, but hugs the body perfectly, thanks to hidden shapewear sewn directly inside the dress.
So our lining, I like to call it our secret, our confidence hug. It's what we're best known for.
Some people, maybe they feel, self-conscious about their waist or their butt area or their boob area. So if you're gonna rock a little black dress, make sure you have the proper shapewear.
I really love this silhouette because I actually think it's gonna work for a lot of body types.
The shapely Edie dress starts on paper as a design sketch, the result of intense collaboration between Lisa and design director Henry.
On the outside, we have these really beautiful shaping panels that actually create the illusion of a waist wherever you want it to be.
The sketched dress panels are turned into paper stencils, laid on top of the fabric, and Henry cuts the panels by hand. The fabric is 69% viscose, 25% nylon, and 9% elastane, a blend that creates a lovely sheen and a perfect shape-enhancing silhouette.
We're looking for comfort, structure, recovery, and shape so that it gives you the silhouette we're looking for, but at the same time, you can live in it.
Henry hands over the pieces of the dress to the team of sewers, who will sew them together.
The Edie dress actually has 25 different pieces, and so you assemble key pieces together.
First, Janan hems the dress's edges using an overlock stitch. Then the fabric panels are all sewn together. As the detailing and dress come to the fold, you can start planning your social calendar accordingly. Potentially for years to come.
The one that grows with you. You could wear it like in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. It's that one dress that you just always go to. It's your go-to little black dress.
And one lovely detail baked into the Edie's neckline is the cheeky oval-shaped keyhole.
We designed the Edie neckline to be convertible. You could wear it the way I am now as a closed neck with a small detail, or you could wear it as a V-neck by unclipping it.
The keyhole is something that you can play around with. It's a focal point.
The back of the dress is held together with an invisible zip, which gets stitched on the seam. And a neat metal clasp is added for extra security. The final step is the Project Gravitas secret sauce. That's sexy shapewear.
And if you like yourself and you see the best in yourself, you take that confidence with you through the day.
And the Edie dress is ready to go confidently wherever the next it girl inside can take it.
Every woman deserves to stand a little taller and have gravitas, and so we will serve women of every body, shape, and size.
You can dress it up, you can dress it down, you can add accessories, you can wear amazing shoes, you can wear boots. That's why every woman needs to have one in their closets.
There are few rituals that signal coming of age, quite like your first piercing.
I had my nose pierced when I was 14 years old. I went to Camden Market in London and I had it pierced there.
When we were 16 and we both decided that we wanted a great idea. Jewels on our belly buttons like Britney Spears.
I had my ears pierced when I was 14 years old, and that's it. I'm not a piercer.
Fast forward to adulthood, and it turns out that's all you really need to stay stylish. If you've got a great pair of chandelier earrings, that is.
I love chandelier earrings. The bigger, the better. The bolder, the brighter, the more gaudy, the better.
Chandelier earrings are a great look because they can really add so much drama to an outfit.
As you see, if you look around, we make chandeliers that light up your room. So a chandelier earring lights up your face.
Meet Karen Erickson, co-founder of New York City's Erickson Beeman Jewelry, and designer of these Duchess of Fabulous chandelier earrings.
One of the best ways a woman can express themselves is with their accessories. You can wear jeans and a t-shirt and put on a fabulous pair of earrings and think, I'm ready. I can face the day.
Karen's status as a leader in the jewelry industry comes from over 30 years of experience.
We've dressed everybody from Beyonce to Diana Ross to Madonna. The list goes on.
Karen's inspiration for her first chandelier was model and heiress Daphne Guinness.
We call it the Duchess of Fabulous because she is fabulous.
The reality is, making this more relatable version is still an intricate and detailed process. The Duchess of Fabulous centers around 5 bold pear-cut crystals, set in gold-plated gem holders called bezels. These bezels are surrounded with a delicate rhinestone trim, and the signature chandelier look is achieved when they're connected in 3 show-stopping tiers. Raw materials for each pair are pulled from Erickson Beeman's vast inventory and brought over to Maria, who carefully measures out the rhinestone chain, selects all the attachment rings, and puts aside any gems she's going to need.
We buy materials and stones everywhere, but of course we use a lot of Swarovski crystal.
Swarovski crystal, it's the finest crystal that's out there. And a great thing that Swarovski does is they place their crystal in the hands of the great creative minds of jewelry, fashion, and design. And the results are spectacular.
With the earrings pieces collected, Maria's able to put the chandeliers together. First, the bezels are meticulously soldered into place with fire.
So each piece is made one by one by hand. Nothing is mass-produced. Everything is done with such love and care that it's almost a little piece of art.
5 brass bezels are used to create the iconic pear drop dangler, 3 of which are joined together, and they're all nestled into a bed of slit-proof pebbles. The stud is stuck to the top gem's backing, and all the earrings tiers are attached. Now, all that's left to do is set the gems. Ben uses pliers to press down the bezel's prongs, and these chandelier earrings are ready to make a statement, no matter what you're wearing.
I think jewelry changes up a person's mood. Jewelry is the punctuation marks in anyone's outfit.
People can really know when you enter a room because, like, if you're wearing chandelier earrings, you're just like, they dingle. Jangling everywhere. They jangle, not they dingle.
You could dress them up and down and go as extreme as possible if you want. If you have like a gown, you could wear like super gaudy, like oversized chandelier earrings. Very Givenchy.
Coming up, the humble French beret is making a roaring return.
Oh, the French beret reminds me of Paris.
We throw on a blazer to help you rule any boardroom.
We see the engagement ring for men, a luxury watch from Switzerland.
You could tell the measure of a man by his watch.
But first, we'll close the case on the mystery shrouding this summer's hottest look.
So how do you go to the washroom when you're wearing this romper thing?
This is Style Factory.
Whether you're chilling in the park or enjoying a hot night on the town, there's a one-stop outfit that'll have you soaking up summers in style.
The rompers are really fun and cute look.
I absolutely love the romper suit. In fact, I'm wearing one today.
No age limit. No. I mean, 99 to wear a romper. Why not? 110. Why not?
And the romper's recent popularity can be traced right back to a certain songstress.
Taylor Swift, who I really think has almost trademarked the romper. And she does really cute things with it, like she'll wear a high heel espadrille or a pair of Manolo stilettos. It's cute.
Before that, this easy-peasy one-piece was reserved for bathing beauties.
The romper is one of those summer looks that I really associate with sort of 1920s, 1930s beach culture.
But it got a sleek and sexy update in the decade of disco, blurring the line between a romper and a jumpsuit.
Romper is technically a short jumpsuit, right? But you can also consider it pants.
But where the jumpsuit is chic and mature, a romper is fun and flirty. Which brings us to this boldly printed sail ottoman romper in two-tone white and gray, designed with a modern silhouette in mind.
We wanted to take the concept of a romper, which sometimes can look a little bit overly sexy or a little bit pajama-ish, and make it a little bit of that feminine touch with the exposed sides.
Amanda Helwani helps run her family's Montreal-based business, 20 Tees. This 250,000 square foot factory is where every aspect of their romper is brought to life.
So it's called the Sail Ottoman Romper because the pattern when creating it reminded us of sails on a sailboat. The mill's been around since 1965. It was first only a knitting mill. About 20 years later, the dyeing mill was actually added to it.
Which means 20 Tees can knit and dye their own fabrics, plus design and produce their own clothes.
We actually have complete control over what we're producing. We're not worried about how the fabric is going to arrive in-house. We're not worried about defaults or errors. It's a huge advantage in that you're really making sure whatever you're putting out is at its 100% best.
And that control starts with good design, focused on eye-catching patterns and maximum comfort.
We really want to be a wardrobe staple brand. We're not looking to be a basics brand. We really believe in being that company that you're looking through your closet and that's the first thing you want to grab. So there's
too fallish.
Yeah, I agree. It's too heavy and there's a big repeat. Yeah. I think that the #1 place where we find our inspiration is actually within our fabrics. I like that. These are a little bit too like pattern. I feel like this has more abstract in it.
Okay.
Love it. You don't have to pair with anything because the fabric is so fun. This fabric really speaks for itself. We chose this fabric because it has an amazing structure. It really holds its shape versus certain fabrics that are a little clingier. We wanted something that had a little bit more of a modern edge to it.
Oh yeah, bold everything. Bold prints, bold colors, bold shoes, bold accessories. Go bold. Go bold or go home.
Once the bold pattern for the romper is chosen, the on-site mill starts knitting the fabric on this enormous machine.
This is a jacquard fabric that's created on a jacquard machine.
The jacquard machine knits the pattern directly into the fabric versus printing or sewing it on later. The machine's needle bed is round, which means the fabric is knit in a circular motion, increasing pattern variety and complexity. The fabric is a poly, cotton, and nylon blend, and once knit, is fed into these 540-kilo tanks, where it's washed for 3.5 hours in a deep clean process called scouring. When the clean fabric is dry and ready to roll, Giuseppe here cuts each of the romper's pieces with an electric saw, bundling them for assembly. That's where Diana can get to work sewing the romper, starting with the shorts. Then comes the black waistband, and the top is sewn together and attached. An on-trend black elastic fabric called a bandeau is sewn in last, designed to either cover a bra strap or conceal overexposure for the braless. Either way, this is a thoroughly modern romper for the ages. But there are some things that never change.
So how do you go to the washroom when you're wearing this romper, Zane?
Unfortunately, you do have to take off the whole garment when going to the bathroom.
It's not a good idea. It's a situation. And I always seem to be wearing them during, music festivals because it's kind of like the optimal time to be wearing a romper.
Better make sure the bathroom door is locked.
It's hard to dispute France's influence on the world.
Croissant, chocolate croissant,
The baguette, the cheese, the wine,
Eiffel Tower, French men, French fries,
and the berets.
Oh, the French beret reminds me of Paris.
Ah, the beret, France's most distinct fashion piece.
I mean, the beret. You think of, say, Gigi, Audrey Hepburn in Funny Face wearing a beret. I mean, it really is that hat that typifies Paris.
Picasso was wearing this beret, Che Guevara was wearing this beret. It's the beret you imagine when you see the French guy.
Right. Him and Samuel L. Jackson. Anyway, Rosabelle Forzi is the CEO of Lolaire, a company that's been making the famous hats in the French town of Oloron-Saint-Marie since 1840. They're one of the oldest beret makers in the world. The classic hats are a simple circular shape, made from a single sheet of felted black wool, reinforced with a leather band around the inside edge.
I actually buy berets almost in bulk. They're really, really functional, warm, and they look really good on your head.
The Lolaire berets are, just like in 1840, knitted from locally sourced 100% merino wool. Like all wool, the fabric has some antibacterial properties that can reduce odors and keep the fabric fresh. Each beret is knit by this automatic knitting machine in about 8 minutes, and they're all left with the beret's signature thingy on top.
It's called a cabillaud. It's specific on the beret. You can perhaps see it there.
Cabillaud means small tail, by the way. Knitting individual hat templates ensures a seamless edge, and the large discs are then loaded into tumblers for a hot water bath. This is called felting, and is crucial for resizing the big circles.
The beret is this size and it's gonna go this size. It's exactly when you put your sweater on your washing machine and like you put it on temperature like too much. So your sweater is gonna be smaller and more dense.
Additionally, the denser wool fibers are now more waterproof, a critical feature for the beret's French and foreign military wearers.
JFK was actually instrumental in pushing for the use of the green beret in Special Forces units. The Special Forces troopers actually wore the green beret as a mark of respect at his funeral.
Today's batch is black, so the wool-white berets are dyed in the dye bath for about an hour. Then take another few hours to dry naturally. The next step is surprisingly cloak and dagger, as the dry berets are shaped using top-secret technology. Then they're placed on this brushy drum, which scuffs up the wool to give the fabric more body and a nice soft texture.
The one thing to consider when buying a beret is the style of wool. You don't want something scratchy because it can be very scratchy on your forehead. So you want to go with something that's kind of soft wool.
Not everyone enjoys the feeling of wool on their skin, no matter how soft. So a leather band is sewn into the edge of the beret, which also keeps it firmly on your head.
If there is some wind, no problem. If there is some rain, no problem. You keep it and it's on your head.
And in case you were wondering, there's no wrong way to wear a beret. But one way is more right than others.
Put it like that, it's sure it's gonna switch you.
That's the right way to wear it. You don't want to have it like just on top of your head.
But personally, I like the whole high-waisted jeans beret with a little bandana tied around your neck and a pair of, like, clogs. Trishy. Oh, drop the mic. Boom.
Classic, iconic, powerful. Nothing says confident style like a woman in a blazer.
You know, a blazer is one of those things that every woman should have in their wardrobe.
There's a thing when you put a suit jacket that, I don't know, you can run the world.
That feeling keeps the blazer in high rotation with some of the most badass career women, both real and fictional.
Hands down, one of my favorite career women is Robin Wright in House of Cards. She wears a lot of blazers and she wears them really well.
I've been obsessed with Ellen for so many years. She always rocks a suit jacket and she owns it. The cool thing about Ellen is that she doesn't give a
Find the right blazer, and neither will you. This FU look dates back to 1966, when Yves Saint Laurent debuted a woman's jacket called Le Smoking. It became a look so scandalous that certain hotels and restaurants banned women from wearing it, which, looking back, was counterproductive.
Not only does the tuxedo become this very sought-after outfit for women, but the blazer becomes this mainstay of the female wardrobe.
If you think back to YSL's Le Smoking, right there we know that the blazer can be super sexy.
50 years later, and how times have changed. Introducing this navy-fitted blazer from Canadian outfitters, Tristan.
Navy is the new black in the upcoming seasons. It's super easy to wear, and it really modernizes a classic blazer.
Charles Fortin's parents started this Quebec-based company over 40 years ago. Now he helps run the day-to-day operations at this 32,000 square foot facility alongside his sister, Laurence. Tristan's suiting collection is known for its fine lines and precise cuts.
It's very structured, fitted, but with a modern look.
It all starts with the raw roll of material that has to be inspected.
To start production, rolls of this high-quality cotton, nylon, and spandex blend arrive at the factory every day.
Comfort is key in this blazer. There's a stretch lining and stretch fabric used, which allows for incomparable comfort.
It's up to Francois to measure a roll's width and look for any defects that may have occurred during production or transport.
Et alors, on ne peut pas garder un défaut comme ça parce que le défaut va rester là. Ils ne pourront pas l'enlever.
The fabric is transferred to a sponging machine, where it's treated to an intense amount of steam to check its reaction to high levels of heat and moisture.
Sponging is a key element in production because it pre-shrinks the fabric.
It also eliminates the average blazer's most pesky feature, wrinkles.
It's kind of a high maintenance item. You have to get it dry cleaned. It can be pricey to take care of. If there was an alternative to that, that would be amazing.
And that's exactly what sponging does, making Tristan's blazers conveniently washable at home.
You just have to throw it in the machine, hang it up, and then it's perfect the next day.
Once the fabric hits the cutting room floor, it's laid onto a table, and each of the blazer's pieces is strategically marked. Then, it's vacuum sealed to prepare it for a state-of-the-art automated fabric cutter. Now, either side of the fabric can be used to make the blazer's exterior shell. But first, the pieces are fused with the jacket's inner lining in an oven that uses heat and pressure.
Fusing is a process that is used to give structure and give it a long lifespan.
A total of 30 pieces per blazer are fused. It's an added step, but the results are worth it.
Our clothes have longevity, so it's very common someone will come back in 10 years and still be wearing our blazer and it still looks really good.
Finishing the jacket happens on the sewing line, where a robotic sewing machine assembles the breast jacket and inserts the lining.
For a woman's blazer, there can be over 90 steps to assemble a jacket.
Sleeves are attached, then hemmed, and the shoulder pads are put in. That's right, shoulder pads. If you thought the power suit was out of fashion, think again. Because fashion icons like Kim Kardashian are bringing the commanding look right back.
Like, honestly, I wish I had a real job so I could wear suits for women, like all day, every day of my life.
Now that the blazer's almost done, it can be handed over to Steve, who mans this nifty button machine.
Cette machine-là sert à poser les boutons. Elle est différente d'une machine traditionnelle. Elle fait 3 opérations en une.
With everything in place, the blazer is given a quick steam to eliminate any last-minute creases, because there's nothing that makes a statement like a blazer with all the right angles.
When fitting a blazer, you should be looking for these key elements. You want the shoulder to end at the actual shoulder, and the length of the sleeve should fall between the wrist and the joint of the thumb.
Once you own a good one, you instantly feel powerful.
When it comes to marking the passage of time, the most stylish accessory is the luxury wristwatch.
It's a status symbol for men, and it's a great way for a man to show he cares about how he looks and his style.
Men need a good watch. I feel like it defines your style and it becomes your signature.
My watches are extremely important to me. It's probably the most important thing that I spend money on.
You could tell the measure of a man by his watch.
Although, to be fair, the wristwatch didn't start as menswear. Until World War I, men used pocket watches to stay on schedule.
Whereas the smaller, daintier wristwatch was worn by women, almost as a piece of jewelry. During the First World War, the wristwatch became associated with military heroes, really popular with men in the wake of the First World War.
The modern timepiece was really created in the late 1880s, when Swiss watchmaker Edward Hoyer changed the future of time forever with a critical invention.
Which was the oscillating pinion, which is exactly like a clutch in the car industry to be able to start the chronograph.
Without getting too technical, a chronograph is a wristwatch that doubles as a stopwatch. And the oscillating pinion is the tiny cog that allows the hands to start and stop accordingly. Point is, Mr. Hoyer is steeped in the tradition of meticulous Swiss watchmaking.
To me, there's only one place that a watch can be manufactured, and it's in Switzerland. It has to be a Swiss watch.
The Swiss are very detail-oriented, and I guess they're always on time. That's why they make great watches.
In Switzerland, we are famous for the watchmaking because we have the know-how, savoir-faire, precision.
Mark Walty is the detail-oriented international product manager of TAG Heuer, arguably Switzerland's most famous watch company. And today, he's overseeing production on their newest luxury watch, the TAG Heuer Caliber 01. It's a skeleton watch, revealing the guts of the insanely complicated and intricate clockwork mechanisms inside.
Seize movement has 320 components, which is huge in the watchmaking industry.
The watch may have 320 individual parts, but the overall design can be divided into 4 major sections. The lightweight titanium case houses everything. The watch mechanism sits inside, made of hundreds of metal wheels, cogs, pins, and a dozen tiny synthetic rubies. The face sits on top. That's the hands, numbers, and the scratch-proof sapphire crystal glass cover. Finally, the titanium strap holds the entire piece tightly on your wrist. All the individual pieces are fabricated off-site and delivered to TAG Heuer's dust-free 50,000 square foot factory in the Swiss town of Le Chaux-de-Fonds. Final assembly of the watches takes about 3 hours. First, the body of the watch is carved out using this lathe. The maze-like grid marks where the tiny parts of the mechanism will sit inside the titanium case. Titanium is the metal of choice for most luxury watch cases because it's tougher than stainless steel and almost half the weight. Which is to say, the hundreds of teensy mechanics will be very safe. And they're mostly assembled by hand, one piece at a time.
Everything is about passions and precision without having your arm going like that.
With steady hands, all those tiny wheels, cogs, hammers, and other mechanics are delicately placed. Jewelers' monocles are worn so the watchmakers can actually see what they're doing. But one step is so hard to see, a specially designed robotic hand comes into play. A collection of minuscule synthetic rubies are loaded onto a gold-plated tray, then individually placed into the watch mechanics. You'll barely see these faux rubies in the final product, but without them, the metal mechanics would wear out. So the red jewels are the secret to preserving the metal and keep the luxury watch ticking forever.
It's a piece that you can actually pass on from generation to generation, which for me is something very important.
And traditional. I mean, who could forget the famous watch scene from Pulp Fiction, where an heirloom gold watch is painfully passed from father to son? With all the mechanics in place, the final screw locks everything in, before the time-telling faceplates are added. Inspired by a car's dashboard, the face has 3 mini dials, a nod to TAG Heuer's historic link to high-performance motor racing.
It's for people who love car, and it's also for people which would want to have kind of unique manufactured chronograph.
The 6 separate watch hands are lined up, screwed in, and tested. Now, the sapphire crystal glass tops are placed, on the back first, then the front. The glass is sealed, waterproof up to 300 meters.
Having a watch which is 300 meters water resistance, nobody will go that deep, but it's just quality.
With the glass screwed in, the titanium strap is attached. And like clockwork, the Tag Heuer Caliber 01 is ready to adorn your wrist, keeping you on time and looking sharp for the rest of your life. But buyer beware. You may need to save up a bit, as the watch comes with a hefty price tag.
I definitely think that it's worth splurging on a watch. It's one of the few jewelry pieces, too, that men can get into, so I think why not reward yourself?
Time is precious. So what you decide to use to measure your time should be just as precious and just as important to you.